Hello, my name is Coleman Parkerson. This is my Zappos presentation project. So what I did is I got all the information from the Zappos website using a web scraper. The web scraper went and got all the information from the website that I looked for, going to different links and ads, getting me all these different points of data that I could then put on to an Excel sheet. I could compare the data, look at different methods of looking at different sheets, correlations to draw different conclusions. By the time I was done scrapping all the data for the women's shoes, specifically this would be the women's road running shoes, I had 6,495 individual points of data. After cleaning this and using my own judgment, getting rid of what I felt was sample sizes that were much too small, or it was just bad data dividing by zero, errors in Excel, this went down to 229 of good points of data. Now using this data, I used column charts, box plots, parallelograms, and other things to really make sure I got good information, and these are the findings I had. So first of all, Reebok is clearly the most price efficient product. If you look at any chart, anywhere you cut it, Reebok by far is the most cost effective. What I mean by that is that Reebok is relatively very low in price. In fact, it is one of the cheapest shoe brands we had out there for the average price. Going over to the stats section, they're flawless. They absolutely home run every time. Going to the least effective, Athletic Propulsion Labs is by far the least. Reebok was at $65, nearly one of the cheapest. APL was nearly at $200. It had some of the lowest ratings, especially for the price. If you look over here, hopefully you can see my mouse, Reebok, all 100% across the board. Down here is APL, and this is not good. They're at 200, and they have these low ratings. What's really hurting them seems to be their truth to size and their average MAS. This is not what you'd expect from such a expensive shoe, or what you'd expect for such a cheap shoe. Over here you can again see APL very low. Now the expensive brands did seem to go more on the side of the style rather than anything else. And if you look at the TTS lined up, truth to size, truth to width often did not correlate very well at all. But looking at other data, we found another great conclusion, and that is consumers seem to care the most about comfort more than anything else. Price did not matter. It did not matter if you had an expensive shoe. It did not seem to give it an edge over the more economy ones. Looking at the charts here, we can see that yes, style was important at a 0.58 for the overall score. Comfort, the breadwinner, again at 0.7. What we see is style was chosen for the more expensive shoes, but since comfort was weighted much more, the more inexpensive shoes that shows comfort over style seem to really come up on top. We can see that again reinstated by brands like Reebok. As you can see here, very little correlation with price, so price did not really seem to matter. There are some outliers, but the overall flow of this is not positive. Over here, TTS, yes, TTW, yes, but comfort and style, but especially that comfort. So the conclusion I get is sometimes economy shoes are the best bang for your buck. You don't have to break your wallet to get a great shoe. If anything, it almost seems to be the case that since the more higher end shoes seem to prefer style over comfort, they're losing out on the most weighted points. So you definitely do not need to go more expensive to get a better shoe. Thank you. This has been my presentation. Again, I am Coleman Parkerson.